It's funny, I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to be a farmer. One day I was driving to work and someone's cow was out in the road. So I stopped and kind of led him back to them and got to talking with her, and she needed some help. So I just started, working over there and working out in the fields and working with the guy who's farmed it for like 60 years. He's turning 90 this year, just this amazing old guy. Just real inspirational. He was a great guy to work with, real positive attitude. Not a naysayer at all, real encouraging and supportive, where most people are like, you're just crazy.
Yeah. Cumberland, and that was a vegetable CSA that we first started doing, and I was the manager of the garden.
I always grew up with my father talking about it.
Yeah.
And you could always tell he always wanted to get back to it.
Yeah.
He always did, but he never did.
Yeah.
Whether he didn't, whatever his reasons did, he never did, but he always wanted to. So that always instilled in me a desire to do it, and we always had huge gardens.
The Journey Person program is, MOFGA coordinates it, and they set you up with a mentor farmer who's doing something that is vaguely what you're interested in doing, and they sort of walk you through some of the steps, and they're like consultants that you can call up anytime.
When I was old enough, I got a job at a riding stable, just volunteering, just so I could be around it and work and do it.
At the completion of the Journey Person program, we found a farm in Cape Elizabeth that hadn't been in production for like 50 years.
The proximity between Portland and the farms just instantly engaged us. And we were like, oh, we want to learn more about the food and get more involved with the farms. And we joined the CSA, which was great with John and Stacy actually when they were at Turkey Hill, right up the road here in Cape Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. Cape Elizabeth is really where we got some experience starting business and working with small livestock and really having a CSA of our own.
I always wanted to grow up in this kind of setting, and I wanted my kids to, so we just really set our sights on it and just did whatever we could to make it happen. So it took a couple of years of saving money and looking around.
At the end of the program, you're automatically enrolled in this program called Maine Farmland. And it's basically like a real estate type matchmaking program that sets up a new farmer with an old farmer or just farmland that's going out of production.
We have, it's a pretty small amount of land. We got 12 acres. Most of it is dedicated to woodland.
We're starting a flock of sheep for meat lambs, but that's still pretty small. We only have about 7 right now.
We raise pigs, broiler hens. We have a small flock of laying hens, and then we're experimenting, with different types of livestock. They're dairy goats. We wanted to have something around that we were going to have for a while. Chris and the kids wanted something we weren't going to have for 6 months and kill.
And we have a cow and calf. Just for our family, really.
We just noticed that the percentage of the food we were eating locally was much higher. And year round. Not just vegetables and stuff, but we had found out local suppliers for meat and dairy and...
A lot of the meat stuff is really to round out our own diet. And if you're going to have a couple of pigs, you might as well have a couple more for sale or for your neighbors or family. So.
And that helps pay for the whole thing. And then they also offer all kinds of fertility to the garden.
We're trying to realistically look at, okay, what kind of land do we have and what is that land going to support? Now we know, pigs, and I think goats are going to be real good. Pigs do really good in a woodland setting. Goats are browsers. The demand for meat goats and goat milk is on the rise. So we look at those two things, and that's what we're really working to pursue.
Yeah, just having one animal is isn't quite worth it because they get lonely and you gotta work like just as hard to feed 2 animals or 3 animals.
If I have 10 pigs to a half acre, there's really not a hell of a lot of work that I have to do. Right now we only have 7 head of the pigs. My sow is off being bred. That's one of the things that I realize now. I've been buying piglets, which can be kind of difficult to do because now people want, 65, 75, 85 bucks for a 25, 30 pound piglet.
Right.
But what we're doing now is we're focusing more on building up our own breeding stock. Figure out certain animals, figure traits we like, ones we want to keep and breed.
Yeah.
What you doing? What you doing? Oh yeah.
That noise is sense for you, you know.
I know it is. She's a girl.
That one's reserved for you.
Yeah. Whoop. Yep. When these guys came out, when I brought them outside, they hit the ground. Just hit the ground running. Just running, jumping, throwing themselves sideways. Ran like 2 laps around the place and then came up and started doing this.
Our focus all along has been try to do everything that like feeds ourselves and offers us the lifestyle that we want, and it just so happens that a lot of other people in the community want that diet as well.
Kind of go through this little ritual of we sit down to eat dinner and be like, okay, well these tomatoes are from Madison and this garlic is from, Broadturn or whatever.
I think that's the approach of our business plan from the very start. It's just we know what we want, and it's pretty good bet that someone else is going to want it too.
Right.
We started talking about, well, what if we try to do all local for the summer? And we really were just intending it to do it for the summer, for just July and August. And we sort of had a leg up because we already knew where a lot of our food came from. But there were lots of things that we were still buying that we just had no idea.
Yeah, I was nervous when we first got the pigs. It's just, they're big and they're so fun and so now I'm like ready to take on anything. I love it,
Yeah, the fall was like a mad rush because once we got to, September, October, and I was like, oh, maybe we could do it all winter. But I don't know if we have enough food, because we thought really we were going to be limited to what we had. And I'm not sure we could have actually done it with what we had. I don't think we had enough.
No, and it would have been a whole lot of potatoes.
It would have been a lot of potatoes and cabbage.
Right.
Our cooking isn't so much guided by what we want to eat as what's available to eat. And it really is a different way to look at it.